Hello there.
Hello.
Allow me to take you back and tell you the story about a little game known as Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. It's a game released in 1999 for the original PlayStation. For the past decade or so, this game has taken the world of speedrunning by storm. Forbidden Memories was everywhere. It was practically impossible to avoid, even if you tried. It seemed like everyone had a friend who had tried running the game, and if not, you probably stumbled upon the game in a stream somewhere.
I never heard of this.
It was like a plague that spread to all corners of the speedrunning community. It didn't matter if you were a PlayStation, Nintendo, or PC guy, Forbidden Memories had an allure to it. But what was it that drew people to the game and gave it such an infamous reputation? Today, I hope to answer this question as we dive into the story of Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories, the ultimate roulette of speedrunning. Speedrun Live, a place where many of my videos seem to start. A classic website used for finding streams related to speedrunning and racing your friends in your favorite game. As the legend goes,
what you gonna say? Let the strong regular they can't live outside me anyway.
I believe that was Frozen.
Speedrunner by the name of BJ was streaming Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories casually on their Twitch page. BJ was most commonly associated with speedrunning the Spyro games, and that's mainly what the runner SSBM Stuff, aka Saboom, followed him for. Saboom had played Forbidden Memories when he was a kid and was pleasantly surprised to see BJ streaming the game, as memories from his youth came rushing back, reminding him of how much he loved the game. The following day, BJ and Saboom, along with runner DSmon, would see who could beat the game's world tournament the fastest. This race took place all the way back in January of 2013, and it's the first recorded race of the game on Speedruns Live. Looking at the player comments, it seemed like the guys had fun, and we can presume they were all together in a voice call on Skype, chatting it up. This was effectively the birth of the game, but eventually someone was going to be brave enough to race the full game, to take it just that one step further. And we only have to look 2 races above, where 5 players would attempt just that. And this paints an entirely different picture. A 12-hour completion, a 21-hour completion, and 3 forfeits. This was the first proper attempt at beating Forbidden Memories in a speedy setting. And out of the 5, Saboom's attempt would go on to be somewhat of an urban tale. As the story goes, Saboom's attempt was an absolute endurance test, spanning over 30 hours of continuous play before finally throwing in the towel from exhaustion. During this stream, 1,000 viewers witnessed the madness that was Forbidden Memories, and Saboom would also go on to get partnered due to the viewers he pulled. The 30-hour marathon of a stream is unfortunately lost to time, but many were inspired to give the game a whirl after watching him play it. And so, the seeds were planted, and the rest is history. But what happened during this race to cause such wildly different completion times between first and second? And why did 3 people forfeit? The answer is that this game is an absolute RNG nightmare. So let's talk about how to play it. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories does not play like your typical Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, but some core concepts still apply. If you're not familiar with any Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatsoever, don't worry, I'll explain the basics of dueling in this game. Let's take a look at a random duel played by the runner Matt13 against Rex Raptor, one of the first opponents in the game. Every player begins by drawing 5 cards, where you can then begin to summon monsters onto the field. In Forbidden Memories, you can fuse together cards to make stronger monsters by selecting multiple from your hand, done by pressing up on the D-pad. On Matt's first turn, he sees that he has a plant and a female card, which makes Queen of Autumn Leaves with 1800 attack. Pretty decent stats for the early game. Rex then plays a card in defense position, as he has nothing strong enough to take down Matt's card. On Matt's second turn, he plays Armored Zombie at 1500 attack. His best option since there aren't any better fusions in his hand. On turn 3, Matt performs a common strategy known as tossing, also known as cycling to some. Matt selects Karibo and Beaked Snake, but the 2 cards aren't fusible, so the game tosses Karibo out of the game. The sole purpose of this move is to dig for more useful stuff in the deck. Since you always draw until you have 5 cards in your hand, it can be beneficial to get rid of some trash cards that won't be of any use. In the following turns, Matt whittles away at Rex, until his health points reach 0, winning him the duel. As Matt wins the duel, a couple of stats show at the end. The amount of star chips gained, a form of currency we'll get into later, the card you obtained from winning the duel, and your overall rank for how well you did. Your rank is determined by a plethora of factors, such as speed, amount of fusions, and a lot more. This plays into what card drops from the duelist you fight. There are 3 separate so-called drop pools for each duelist in the game: SNA POW, SNA Tech, and BCD POW Tech. Whatever rank you get will acquire you a random card within that drop pool, although the cards don't all have the same chances of dropping. Going back to Matt's duel, where he got an S-POW on Rex, we can see that he got Ganigumo, which has a 17 in 2048 or 0.83% chance of dropping if you get an S or an A POW. So...
You get it? I get it.